now. First time guest here on the program. He's ever been here. Like I said, his sister Debbie, she's been here numerous times. But he's here to talk about a few different things. You're very involved in the cultural garden. In fact, you're so involved in it, you wrote a book about it.
That's right. I mean, I love the cultural gardens. I'm a big fan of them, and I think every Clevelander, you know, if you don't know about them, you certainly should, because they're unique in the world. And they became the backdrop of the book because just that story needs to be told, and no one's going to really read a textbook about them. So,
Oh, I would.
well, you're one of the few.
Well, because we all know the garden so well, but you're right, Dan. It probably brought in some new
I think so. And as you know, the gardens were started in like 1917. It was a gift for the land was a gift from John D. Rockefeller, about 255 acres down on East Boulevard and what was Liberty Boulevard there. And there was a guy, Leo Weidenthal, who was a Shakespeare buff. It was Shakespeare's 300th birthday coming up in 1917, and he wanted to have a Shakespeare garden in some of that land. So he started this Shakespeare garden. Then over time, that evolved into the British garden. And then he started another one. He was Jewish. He started the Hebrew garden. And then other groups started saying, why don't we have our gardens? We got all this land. So it was a lot of the Eastern European. It was German and Polish and Italian. And then in 1939 was the dedication of the Irish Cultural Garden, which if you look at it, if you just drive by it, you wouldn't notice that it's in the shape of a Celtic cross. Yeah. It's really beautiful.
You got to go in and look at it.
Yeah, you have to look facing south.
Yeah.
And back then, you know, they had a monument to Victor Herbert and a few other things, but you know, the whole cultural gardens in the 60s and 70s were neglected, and there's vandalism and all that, but there's been a renaissance. And 70 years later, in the Irish Garden, they rededicated. And as you well know, because you were there, you know, the Irish Garden Club, they called it.
Ambassador Crawford.
Ambassador Crawford, the Mayo Society, Jim Boland, Jack Cale, all those names. Shar Crowley worked on it, you know, some of that. Father Jim O'Donnell did the invocation, and Agnes
And we had
Kennedy
Andy
sang.
Kenny, the Prime Minister of Ireland, there for the
Yeah, the Taoiseach came. It was really a great event, and the garden is really one of the premier gardens now.
Yeah. So Dan, you're an author now. Your background is not writing books. You're a computer guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a math guy. Got my BS and Masters in mathematics. I came around just when the computer industry was coming around. I did not turn into Michael Dell or Bill Gates, unfortunately. So then...
Or Elon Musk, huh?
Yeah, or Elon Musk, or I don't know what happened there. Must have been sick that day or something. But yeah, and then, you know, over time we still have the computer company, but that stuff's become a commodity. Programming, you know, is outsourced to kids in a foreign land or something, and hardware is really cheap. So we got into the websites, you know, about 2000, and that got us more. I'm telling you, my sister and actually my mom too, and we all worked on that, and we built up a family of websites. First was Cleveland Seniors, because they were being ignored on the internet back then, and for women and all that. It's when we got into Cleveland People that we saw all the ethnic groups. You know, my mom was Irish, my dad was Polish. We were very involved in those communities, but all of a sudden we realized there's 120 different ethnic groups represented in Cleveland. So we started learning about them, and everyone's very passionate about their heritage, trying to get the young people involved, trying to keep the traditions and cultures going, and that's kind of led us to the cultural gardens too.
I remember a few years ago when the Irish Garden was in a state of disrepair, and Ambassador Crawford decided, he tells the story himself, how he was sick of driving by it and seeing it and noticing it in such a state of disrepair that he said, we got to do something about it. And he got that started, and then I noticed right after that a lot of the other gardens that were in the same condition, they started taking more pride in their gardens.
Exactly, and once you
there's
see,
been a great rejuvenation of all the gardens.
When you drive by and you see the Fred Leonard fountain there, which I guess is an exact duplicate, stone for stone.
Patrick's, yeah.
Yeah, it's just beautiful, and if you're the garden across the street, you better keep up. And that kind of spurred on some of the other gardens to make improvements. And one thing about the Irish garden, a lot of the gardens, and there's about 35 of them now with 10 in the works and another 10 or 15 cultures that want to have gardens. We've got some new land for them. But one of the things about the Irish garden is the number of cultural figures that are represented. You know, some will have one or two. You know, across the street is the Indian garden. They have, of course, Gandhi, a big Gandhi statue. Across the street the other way is the Syrian garden. They have one bust of a poet named Kabani. In the Irish garden, there's about a dozen. So it's people like George Bernard Shaw, James Joyce, William Butler Yeats, Samuel Beckett, Thomas More, Padraig Pearse, you know, right down the line. There's about a dozen of them. And that's probably the most cultural busts of any garden.
Yes, yes, and a lot of the local people and organizations funded that. They came up with the money to put those in, and that was part of the fundraising. Again, the fountain, that was funded by the Lennon family, Fred Lennon's family, but all the other ones were mostly by individuals in the Cleveland area.
And now you'll see volunteers, you know, they'll have cleanup days. I remember even seeing Ambassador Crawford there with the shovel and his gloves the one day cleaning up. But before Char Crowley moved, she was kind of in charge of that. But there's a whole group that works on that and keeps it clean and beautiful. And like you said, as one garden is great, the gardens across the street and down the street, they better get their act together or they're going to fall into that.
That's right. But anyway, let's talk for a minute about the book.
Okay.
And it's called Murder in the Cultural Garden.
Right.
All right.
So murder, first of all, it's a fiction book, so there wasn't a serial killer in the gardens. The gardens are safe. You don't worry about that. You know, there wasn't someone roaming around. But I wanted to tell the story of the gardens, but I also had this, the kind of book I like to read is short and quick and tell the story, and there's something that happens in every chapter. And so that's the kind of book I wrote. And I talked to Les Roberts and some other people as I was writing it. He read it over and made a lot of suggestions. And but each of the gardens, 30 or so gardens, are covered as the background for this book. So it's a whodunit mystery novel, and there's a body is found in one of the cultural gardens, and these three young people who are working in the gardens, videotaping and telling the story of the gardens, stumble across it, and it leads to a whole series of adventures and some twists and turns.
Detective O'Malley in there.
Oh yeah, there's got to have an O'Malley. Yeah. Actually, an old family friend was Patrick O'Malley, who was chief of police of East Cleveland.
I know him well.
Yeah.
I remember well. I used to see him at O'Brien's pub.
Oh, O'Brien's, yeah.
Remember up by Noble Road?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right across from right up the street from Joe.
That was a great bar.
Yeah, Pat O'Malley. We were always quite safe when Pat was in the bar having a few beers with him.
Yeah. He was something
But
else.
anyway, the book, how can people get this book?
Okay, I put a link on clevelandpeople.com, which is the website, and it's a special offer today. I mean, you can go to Amazon. It's a little more expensive there. In some of the bookstores, it's a max backs at some of the local bookstores. But for listeners of your show today, there's a special offer at clevelandpeople.com. There's either a PayPal link that you can pay by credit card, or it's got the address where you can send a check and get it. And I'll sign it if they want, or if they don't want it signed, you know. But it's more expensive on Amazon than the
But Dan,
bookstores.
all these other websites, you have Cleveland Seniors, like you said.
Right.
How many are there?
I think we have about 12.
Yeah, but Cleveland People was the original one.
Cleveland Seniors
Oh,
actually
Cleveland
was.
Seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't want to join it because I said, I'm not old enough.
I know. We started
No.
it.
Jerry
No.
Quinn. Jerry Quinn. Did maybe this birthday make it?
Now I
Maybe,
belong,
maybe.
now I belong to it for sure.
Right.
That was a shocker. We started that for people 50 and over and those who cared for and about them. And that seemed pretty old back then.
And not
And now
anymore.
it's like, you know, 50
My God,
is
that's a mere youth.
yeah.
Yes.
And then we did Cleveland Women, and then we did Cleveland People, which was the 120 ethnic groups. We're very fortunate in Cleveland to have so much ethnic diversity.
I bet a lot of women go to that clevelandwomen.com. I bet they do.
It's amazing because Debbie, my sister Debbie, excels at doing these profiles of them. So she'll sit down, tell their stories, and a lot of them wouldn't tell their stories in like a magazine or on TV or something. So they get the whole story, and it's some of the people are people you know, like, you know, news anchors and celebrity types, but some are just people in the community who've been doing interesting or cool things, and you learn about them, and it's pretty inspiring, and it's also, there's a touch with the celebrities of a little gossip there. And those are usually, the pages that get the most hits are the ones on the TV news anchors and people like that.
But Dan, I see, I read your websites all the time, and I don't know, there's so much information you put on there. I don't know how you find the time to do it. It is just reams and reams of information on those different websites. You're quite a writer.
Well, it's kind of a formula. I mean, when something happens, you can leverage it for 3 or 4 websites maybe. So
But you do accounts of various things coming up in the community on all the nationalities,
Right.
not just the Irish. You do the Italian, the German.
Oh, yeah,
the Ukraine. I
120.
imagine. I know you have the Ukrainian is very active right now.
Yeah. Well, you know, we could never know these groups and communities and cover them as well as the people in the community. So we have a group of ambassadors, as you know, because you're one of our Irish ambassadors. And we count on those people from the community who are experts and involved to tell us what's going on, to answer questions, to make corrections. You know, there's some things, I'll give the example of the Azerbaijans. Okay, I didn't know much about it, Azerbaijan.
Baku. That's the capital, Baku.
Well, see, you know more than me.
The number one oil producing country in the world.
Wow.
Wow.
And
So
it's one
someone,
of the wealthiest countries in the world.
Yeah.
see, well,
Right.
you should be ready for that too, Irish and
Yes.
Azerbaijani. So
Yeah.
someone used a term called Azeri, and it was from another group using it who was having political issues with them. And we didn't know if that was a slang, you know, a derogatory term.
Sure.
So we go to our ambassador and find that kind of stuff out. Now we know, you know, the basics. We count on our ambassadors like you to tell us when the Mayo Society tea is and things like that. But for some of the groups, you know, there's a lot of, say, Indians coming here, and they're going to Case or the clinic, and they want to meet other Indians and go to the temples and all that. So we use our ambassadors like you for those to keep us on track so that we're given the proper information.
Great way for immigrants to connect with a different community, their own community.
Definitely. And we're seeing so many from the Middle East and Africa now that are kind of lost. You know, there's, we found, you know, there's 54 countries in Africa. So someone from Senegal is different from someone in Ethiopia. You know? So they're looking for people to connect with, and they don't always have that opportunity. So we help with that.
Jerry, I would add that they both invited me to write a piece on my mother. So,
very good.
yes, in the Cleveland Women,
Right.
you can find a story that I wrote about Mom and 2 of my sisters.
Beautiful.
And I'll tell you, I was
Yeah,
amazed.
Debbie, I
The
see
writing
that
was
too.
really, you and your sisters really wrote a touching and inspiring
Thank you.
story.
I noticed also John McCann wrote a nice article on his mother
Oh,
Mary.
yeah.
Wasn't that great?
You'll get a tear in your eye.
Oh yeah, that
Beautiful.
was wonderful. We're going to take a break away from you for a minute because I got a music man right behind you there. His name is Brian Bigley, and he's got a big event coming up. But before you start playing there, Brian, the big event, we want to get this in for you. It's the 30th, right? It's in Malachy's.
That's right, yeah, so we're really excited.
Brian Bigley, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, here he is, the one and
Can see
only.
him.
Yes, we got him.
Thanks.
We got him on
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live right
All
now.
right, all right. Well, hopefully you're getting my good side here.
You grew the beard back.
Yeah, you know, the last time I was here, I shaved it all off, didn't I?
Yeah, you look like you were about 12 years
I
old.
know.
Right.
Now you can see all the gray hairs coming.
Yeah, that's right. Brian, it's a big event. It's an important event for you.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So many of your listeners know about our Christmas show that we do every year down in Medina. And the guitarist, William Coulter, who's the music director of that show, is going to be in town with Edwin Huizinga, who's a great Baroque violinist. World-renowned, really. He's worked with Stevie Wonder and some other really big names. And he's going to be in town. And they have a trio now with a woman called Ashley Broder. And she plays the mandolin. And they have a wonderful trio playing music from all over the world. including pieces by Bach and Vivaldi, and but also doing some traditional Irish tunes and some Spanish music
Are
as
the
well.
Bigley's going to be part of this?
So I
hope.
think I'll be lucky enough to play a couple of tunes with them at some point. But it's mostly about them. We're putting Kristen and I are putting on this concert for them, and they're just great people and great musicians.
Super talented.
They're super
I've
talented.
seen him before.
Yeah, that, and maybe one year we had Edwin and Bill do a piece of Vivaldi's from the Four Seasons, and just brought the house down.
That's
you know?
wonderful. I
Yeah, it was
remember as
just-
well.
Yeah. It was really great, and so they've got a new album out, Partita Americana. It's called, the three of them, and so they're going to be playing some music from that album. I think I maybe gave you a copy of that, but if you don't have it, Jerry, maybe we could play a track from it later. It's just really beautiful music, and St. Malachy's has our little group, Cleveland Celtic Ensemble, played at St. Malachy's back in November, and the acoustics in this church are just fantastic for doing a little concert. No electronic amplification needed at all, and it's such a beautiful old historic church that it's just a great place to have a little concert. So.
Now, would you mind if ClevelandPeople.com recorded a little bit of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. that'd be
Dan,
great,
what do
yeah.
you say to that?
That sounds great.
Well, Dan will be there.
Great, awesome. So yeah, so the concert is this Saturday, April the 30th.
That's right. I can't
it's-
believe it's May almost.
I know it's crazy to think that, but the doors are going to open up at 7 o'clock. We recommend people get there a little bit early. The parking scene down there is a little bit tricky these days. There's a lot of construction happening there on Washington Avenue, right by the church. So get there early. 7 o'clock, the doors will open, and tickets are $25. You can get them at kbbproductions.net. That's kbbproductions.net. There's tickets still available, and we've got a group coming down from St. Raphael's in Bay Village, and so it's going to be a great
Brian,
event.
if people want to buy them at the door, they can. It's
They can
not
also
just
buy
the
them at the
seating,
door.
It holds about 200, right?
There's about 200, yeah. So there's a few tickets left, and the tickets will, like you said, they'll be available at the door. We do encourage people to buy them beforehand, just so you can waltz right on in, and you don't have to worry about waiting in line or anything like that.
Now, any chance the famous little tune on
Yeah,
those pipes?
yeah. I was thinking about.
To pull over the chair?
Let me just move this in. Thanks. Thank you very much. There's a beautiful tune that we could all relate to called the Easter Snow. Do you know that
I
old
do.
tune? So I'm just going to do
Perfect.
a short. Yeah, that's right. We can't relate to it today, but we had a nice
Thank
Easter
God.
snow on Monday, didn't we? So I thought we might
I
play
want
this
to see
tune.
snow from next year.
I'll do a little abbreviated version because I don't want to put people to sleep, but and then I'll go into a few jigs after that.
That's good. Hit it.
All right, here we go.
stuff. We're going to hear some of that next Saturday night, right?
Next Saturday night,
At St. Malachi's.
April the 30th, 7 o'clock, doors open.
Anybody, again, it's KBB Productions, right?
KBBProductions.net. Kristen and I are putting this concert on. We're bringing the guys in, and just for this one concert, they're going to be available to people. So really looking forward to it, and hope people would like to come out to it. It's a good time to get out. It's great to be doing live music again, and so we're hoping to pull people out of their houses again. So
Well, I think you can do it.
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Mr. Huizinga.
Huizinga, yeah.
He's a great character.
He's great. Yeah, he's from northern Ontario, up in Canada,
tall
just
is
north
he?
of us. He must be 6'6" or he's up there
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah,
he
6'3",
is.
6'4". And it's so funny to watch him play the violin. The violin looks like a toy in his hands, you know. But he's got these big fingers, but he is so graceful. And
Looks
just,
like a mountain man that escaped from some cabin.
That's right. He did a lot of composing for a symphony up in Canada this last year, and so he's a man on the move. Yeah.
And I know he's done a lot of European stuff. Hasn't he?
Yeah.
All over Europe.
Yeah, that's right.
So Dan, what did you think of that now?
It's fantastic. I just don't know how you do it.
Great stuff. And you manufactures those pipes.
I got to find more about that.
I taught him everything he knows.
That's
Let me tell you about Ann McDonough. Ann C. McDonough is the right combination of passion and... Well, we're okay. We have 8 minutes. Let's talk about your big event coming up, which is...
It's the Cleveland International Hall of Fame. Just like everyone else, the last 2 years, COVID killed that. So back in 2010, when we were working on Cleveland...
Hang on a minute, Dan. Let me go back up here. Didn't have your microphone queued up. Okay.
So back in 2010, we saw all these great people while we were working on ClevelandPeople.com who made such amazing contributions to their ethnic heritage. And we thought we should honor these people and inspire a new generation. So we created the Cleveland International Hall of Fame. And in 2010, we had our first induction dinner, and we didn't know if anyone was going to show up, but we had a sold-out crowd at Sturley's. Remember Sturley's on
I sure do.
55th? And that first year, the Irish have been very well represented in the Cleveland International Hall of Fame. The first year we honored Lonnie McCauley posthumously because we were, it was such a shame she passed away so early. But then in 2011 we moved to the Marriott and started selling out crowds of 500 plus. In 2011 there was this guy Jerry Quinn who was inducted, and if you remember, your inductor was Tom Scanlon. Then in 2012, Father Jim O'Donnell was inducted, and Jack Cale inducted him. 2013, Jack Coyne was inducted by Aidan Cronin, who's Consul General of Ireland.
That's right.
2014, Tom Scanlon was inducted by Sam Miller. In 2015, Steve Malloy was inducted posthumously by former Mayor Jane Campbell. In 2016, Jack Cale was inducted by Dan Coughlin. 2017, there wasn't an Irish. It was the only year with no Irish. 2018, Sheila Murphy Crawford was inducted, and you did the induction speech for her, Jerry. And then in 2019, Marilyn Madigan, who's going to be the president of the ladies AOH coming up this summer, was inducted by John O'Brien Jr. So then we had a class for 2020, and then COVID hit. So we had the class, but we couldn't do anything. Now we're going to do it again. So we're back live on Tuesday, June 7th at Windows on the River, and it's an evening program. Doors open at 5, program at 6. Russ Mitchell from Channel 3 is going to be the MC. Bishop Malesic is going to be the give an invocation to tell a little about his ethnic heritage story. He's a Slovenian. And once again, we have an Irish person. Margaret Lynch from Irish American Archives Society is going to be inducted.
Speaking of Margaret, I did a podcast with her yesterday. It's going to be out soon. I don't know when. I don't remember what I said. I hope I didn't offend anybody.
She's done
She's
great job
such a hard worker.
keeping the history
my
and the
God.
And when you look at the history of the Irish coming here, it's really the history of Cleveland and of America. So those things are
And the
important.
preservation of it.
Right.
That's where Margaret comes in, and she's very, very conscious of how such an important role she plays in doing this and keeping this history alive.
Because let's face it, if you don't, as people get older and the stories are forgotten and the kids don't care, if it's not told and preserved and archived, then those stories just disappear forever. And they're too important. The people who worked hard and suffered and gave up so much to make it easier for us and to enjoy our Irish heritage and all that, they have to be remembered and honored and inspire the next generation. So at this event, you know, we're also going to be honoring, we're going to have some tables for Ukrainian refugees who came here and Afghan refugees. There's all kinds of opportunities. We're inducting the 2020 class who missed out on their chance, and a few for 2022 as well. It's very diverse. We've got a Latvian, an Ethiopian, a Puerto Rican, a Ukrainian, Chinese, Irish, African American, Indian, Armenian, and Slovenian. So it's going to be very diverse. A lot of fun. Like I say, Russ Mitchell's the MC. He does a great job. And
Now, your sister Debbie always uses the phrase that Cleveland is like a tossed salad
exactly.
of nationalities.
What that means is a lot of people say America is a melting pot. And if you look at a melting pot, everyone's put together in a bowl and kind of stirred up, and it comes out the same gray sludge. You know, what we like to think of as a mosaic or tossed salad. So we're all in the same bowl. We're all Americans, yes, but you retain the culture of your heritage. So, you know, in a
Which
salad,
a lot
you
of
have
the time makes them more patriotic Americans.
Senator Voinovich said that. He said people who are proud of their ethnic heritage are the best Americans, because you know what happened to get your people here, and a lot of people had to fight and scrimp and save, and there's all kinds of problems getting here, and those people know what it takes they know the benefits of being an American.
Yes. Yes. So Dan, how can they get tickets for this?
Okay.
Our sponsorship.
It's Tuesday, June 7th. The best way is to call my sister Debbie at 216-406-6594. You can also go to clevelandpeople.com, where it's got all the information there with links and prices and opportunities. You can also go to clevelandinternationalhallofFame.com, but that's too much typing. So it's easier to go to clevelandpeople.com or call Debbie directly, or you can email me at dan@clevelandpeople.com.
And they can see all of the past honorees. They can see all the different nationalities. It's all on the website. You have a lot of pictures.
Oh,
a lot of pictures from St. Patrick's Day parades.
We make it a point to get the honorees. We go on the Bishop Cosgrove steps, as you know. A lot of people aren't aware of what happens there. When you were Grand Marshal, for example, it was a beautiful day, if I remember, a sunny day when you were Grand Marshal, and we try to get that whole ceremony, and then when the Grand Marshal blows the whistle to start the parade. So we have a lot of coverage for about a dozen, maybe 15 years of St. Patrick's Day parade that no one else really has.
That's right. Yeah. Dan, we're coming up against the top of the hour. Any second now it's going to cut us off. So make sure you stay with us. We're going into the second hour.
That is first one
But
to
I
call
know
us.
it, but I go there all the time. That's
Yeah.
why I know. But you know, some people in Cleveland that have never been to the gardens, they may not know that. Now, a lot of them
Yeah.
would not know it.
Well, if no one
Unless
gets
you're
it,
kind of a
we'll make it
frequent
easier,
visitor.
I guess.
So we better make it easier, like the fifth caller.
Okay. That's fine.
Let's give a book away to the fifth caller. We're going to do two, and then we'll do another one a little later.
Okay.
Fifth caller, you're going to get a book, and give Eddie your address, because Dan is going to take that address, and he's going to throw the book in the mail, right?
And if you want it autographed,
And he'll autograph
who?
it for you. It's a great book. You'll really love it. So anyway, 216-901-0945. 216-901-0945. You call right now, and if you are the fifth caller, 216-901-0945. 4 or 5. I hope Eddie is listening in the other room. I can see through the glass that he's having a conversation with Mrs. Corrigan. But of
There-
course, Mrs. Corrigan, she
Dave.
doesn't talk.
Oh, my mother, you mean?
Yes, your mother.
Yes, my mother, yes.
She doesn't talk as much as you do.
No, she doesn't talk.
Thank God.
But she does talk. She does talk. Yeah. So, but we have very smart listeners. Thank you so much for listening, and to our interesting guest, Dan Hanson, telling more about the Irish
have a
Gardens
winner?
and all that. Yeah, Eddie's got that. I think the winners.
Oh, I
yeah,
thought you
almost there.
I thought you
No,
had-
I'm not going to say it. Eddie's
I
going to come
thought
in and
you
say
had a
it.
winner already.
No, Eddie's going to come in and say it, but I
Okay.
think we do.
Anyway, but don't forget, I gotta mention this, the Mayo Society Tea takes place Sunday, June the 5th from 2 to 5 p.m. There's going to be entertainment there that day. And our Elon Piper that is with us today, he and his wife Kristen, and Tiffany Schaefer, the harpist, they're going to be performing at the Mayo Tea.
Oh, that's
which
right.
is- Which is
gonna
great,
be
I'm looking
great.
forward to that. But in the meantime, don't forget Saturday night, Brian and Kristen's concert at St. Malachy is very important. Do you want to play something on that flute?
Sure, yeah.
That
Yeah,
machine?
he's going to do the flute. Just real quick, just with the tea. Again, please, everyone, welcome to the tea. And if you are not a member of the Mayo Society, you could pay right there that day and be a member.
It's free to everybody.
It's free to everybody who's a member. So if you do want to come and you
Okay.
can join that day as well. So please join us at John Carroll University and the Dolan Center.
And I just got Sheila Murphy dancers. Talked to Sheila
Great,
last night.
great.
Just
Good
got
job.
back from Ireland. She came in second in
Good
the
job.
world.
Amazing.
in the
She
entire-
did, yes, I
second
saw that. That was
in
fabulous.
the entire
Fabulous.
world in Belfast
Amazing.
last week.
Right.
Now, Brian, you've been a dancer. You don't understand. That's not
That's
easy.
huge.
It's not easy at all.
Right.
Not easy at all.
Yeah.
So that was for one of their the group
Oh,
dances.
group dance.
Yeah.
The group
yeah.
dance. All right, here he comes. Here he comes. Here's the winner.
All right, you got the winner.
I do have the winner. Okay. First of all, Tommy said hi to all here
Hi, Tommy.
before. And I said the winner is Maureen Walsh Call.
Very
All
good,
right.
Maureen.
Congratulations,
Oh, yeah,
Maureen.
Maureen, I love that. I know she's been at the garden many
Many times. Absolutely.
You
What's
know,
the name of the
I-
creek?
Huh?
Do you know that I knew her dad well? I think you knew my
Oh, I
dad.
sure. No, of course I did.
Spiker
Never
Walsh.
mind.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and they grew up, all of them, on the east side.
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
her uncle was the sergeant in Foxford, County Mayo.
Very
So
good.
there you go.
Hey,
All
Jim,
right, Maureen, congratulations.
I'm curious, we didn't use
Shannon.
this question, but what's the name of the creek?
Shannon.
No, we
Yeah.
took the fifth quarter.
Fifth
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
but
I
they
know
knew
that.
the answer too.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, she
very
knew the
smart
answer.
listeners.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
I'm
Shannon
telling you,
River.
they were very
Yeah,
smart
Shannon River.
listeners.
River
Yes.
Shannon.
Yeah.
River Shannon.
Okay,
Let me take a
don't forget, Sunday, June the 5th, the Mayo Society Tea, and you're going to be meeting the Mayo Person of the Year that day also. We have our annual general meeting. So make sure, mark it in your calendar, 2 to 5 p.m., June the 5th, John Carroll University, the Dolan Atrium. It's a lovely place, you'll love it.
Hey,
All
Jerry, before we continue, I gotta put a message out to Tom Scanlon. Tom, I still have that State of Ohio recognition that you gave me to help write that piece that we published in the Mayo Society newsletter. I'm preserving it in my car so it doesn't get damaged by
You're
anything.
preserving it in your car.
So when Jerry and
Wait a
I get
minute.
over to the Irish Harp
JC,
again,
I've been in that car. I don't know if it's about being preserved.
when Jerry and I get over to the Irish Harp again for breakfast, hopefully Karen O'Malley will put it in her office for me.
Okay, all right. Brian Bigley is all fired up here. Colleen, and we're going to get our fist.
Yes, we are. Yes, we
We're
are.
going to hear Brian play
Yes.
the flute. I know my
What are
son
we gonna
Pat,
hear?
he plays the flute also.
Yeah, he's
So-
a great flute player. Yeah, so I thought I might play a few. I've been playing the flute a little bit more lately. And by the way, in addition to the concert on Saturday, I've started hosting the session on Thursday nights at the Plank Road Tavern. And it's an open session. Anybody that plays an instrument can come down. It starts
Is
at
Al
7
O'Leary
o'clock.
there?
Al, I saw Al last
Awesome.
Thursday. He's playing away, and
Awesome.
he's an unstoppable force. That man,
Yes.
he's fantastic.
I think he's 94.
Love
that
him.
sounds right.
He's
And
fantastic.
He's got as many tunes as the rest of us, which is
Yeah.
just brilliant. So,
Okay, Brian.
so this was one that we played on Thursday that I thought I might play for you. It's called "The Hunt in the Bog," and the second one is called "The Primrose Lass," and excuse me, the third one is called "The Tatty Ball," which is a Scottish reel actually, but we won't tell anybody.
you,
Excellent.
thank you.
Brian,
Excellent.
you've outdone yourself again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So what other instruments do you play?
Oh,
Play the guitar?
well, you know, play a little guitar, yeah, and a little bit of piano. You know, the whistle and the flute are basically the same. Fingerings and similar to the pipes, so they're kind of you can go from one to the next fairly quickly.
Brian, do you believe that musical talent is hereditary? I think it is, because he has two kids,
Oh, my goodness.
James and Kathleen.
Yes.
James plays.
James is on the piano, yeah.
He's on the piano, and he's
Yep.
playing very well.
He's doing
Listen,
very well.
he's
Yeah,
doing
yeah. He doesn't like to practice too much these days.
But Kathleen is on the fiddle, huh?
She's doing the fiddle and she's actually
she's
playing the
how
harp.
old?
She's playing the harp
That's
mostly
great.
these days.
6
yeah.
years old.
Yeah, she's got a little tiny harp that's about
Oh.
2 feet high, and
Yes.
yeah, they're doing great. And we played a few tunes for my mom last night, celebrating her 60th birthday. So, Kathleen got her harp out and played a couple of tunes with us, and the rest of the McNamara's. You might remember Mickey and Samantha McNamara.
Yes.
I think they've been on the program before, playing some tunes. So yeah, it's a great thing
It's
to have in the
hereditary,
family.
though, and you know, one of the things I was thinking about the other day, I was reading the biography of Elon Musk.
Oh yeah,
That family are all geniuses.
is that right?
His father was also.
That's interesting.
So I tell you, there'll be no shortage of great Irish musicians in Cleveland.
That's
like
true.
the Bigleys.
That's
Yes.
true.
Yeah,
Thank
when you
goodness.
go home, say to Kristen, we need about 6 more of these kids.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, I'm sure she'll get right on that.
Yeah.
She'll
Yeah,
get right on
right.
that,
Do
Yeah.
that. No, thank you, Brian. That's
Oh,
beautiful.
thanks, guys.
Beautiful.
All right, I want to play this song because I don't do it very often, and one of the reasons I don't do it is it's long. Love this book, Murder in the Cultural Garden. You'll probably hear some of the local characters even.
Exactly.
Might be portrayed
It's-
in it. Dan, what do you think?
It's based in the cultural gardens, but it's first of all it's a whodunit mystery. It's fun and it's easy to read, and the cast of characters are actually going on to the next book in the series. This was the first, Murder in the Cultural Gardens, and the action takes place in those cultural gardens. The next one, it's almost done, is Murder in Asia Town. So Asia Town now is about 30th and Payne, but you probably remember, Jerry, before the freeway was built at 27th and Superior, there were St. Columkills.
Yep.
And that's where my mom and the Sweeney family and all went there. So that area, the Murder in Asia Town book, which is next with the same heroes, let's call them, that takes place back then when there's still a St. Columkills, and it wasn't Asia Town yet. And then we have I have outlines for Murder in Tremont and Murder in the Flats and even Murder in the Heights. So the same cast of characters, which is kind of a modern day Mod Squad, if you're old enough to remember the Mod Squad show, where there's 3 characters, 2 guys and a girl, and they go through this in this book, the Cleveland Cultural Gardens, and
I remember
there's
that.
a lot of twists and turns.
I had an afro just like that.
That's
Remember?
going to be
What was
hard
it? What
to.
was his name? The
Lincoln
guy-
Hayes, I think.
Lincoln Hayes, yeah, my afro was
Oh,
just like
jeez.
his. I used to go to the West Side IA with that.
I don't even know what to say about that.
They didn't either. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was good. So Dan, you're a one busy man. Again, let's talk for a minute about your event coming up.
Okay.
That's very important. It's this June the 7th, right?
June 7th at Windows on the River. Russ Mitchell's the MC, Bishop Malesic is there. We're going to have some surprise guests who we didn't lock in yet, but it's really a celebration of all the different cultures. You know, there's a lot of great events for individual cultures, like the Mayo Ball, for example. But this covers all the 120 distinct ethnic groups in Cleveland, and we celebrate all of them, and you'll be inspired by the people who are inducted. And you can call my sister Debbie at 216-406-6594, or go to clevelandpeople.com to get information on tickets and tables and sponsorships and all that.
Yeah, if you can't remember the phone number, clevelandpeople.com, that
Right.
and it comes right up in your. If you've never been on the websites, believe me, you will. You'll become addicted to them. You'll be on it all the time. Eddie, what did you find out? From
Yes, we have a winner, Jim Samanik from Garfield Heights. Congratulations, Jim. He's going to get this off to you
Good.
immediately, if not sooner.
Brian Bigley, What are
Yes,
we
sir.
doing about Saturday night? Are we gonna sell some more tickets?
Yeah.
Let's give some information out to people. Next Saturday night at St. Malachy's, what time?
St. Malachy's, April 30th. The doors open up at 7 o'clock. The show starts at 7:30, and it's going to be Fire, Grace, and Ash.
Yeah,
Folk and
and
Baroque
I think
music.
you said there's no amplification, everything is acoustic,
Everything
right?
is going to be acoustic. The church is constructed just so to have these beautiful acoustics. So there's no electronic amplification necessary. You'll hear the instruments unmolested and in their original form.
You've
And-
done this quite often, haven't you, in churches without amplification?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's the
You
best
find it
way to
works
do
good,
it.
huh?
It's much a more natural experience. You know, you get the quality of the instrument without any middleman, so to speak, and so it's going to be a great experience. And the Edwin and Bill and Ashley they're great people, and we love being able to put on a concert.
Are they going to do the Vivaldi?
I think Vivaldi's on the list there, and if not, I'll make sure they do one for you there.
Four seasons, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
That's
they do the
great
what is
stuff.
it? Summer, I think that is the one that's just it's just a really exciting piece of music, and so you can get tickets at kbbproductions.net. You could also give me a call if you wanted. My number is 440-554-2394, and tickets are $25, and it's going to be great. They'll have CDs available there if you do you have a track to play, Jerry?
Oh, yes, if you, no, I don't have any.
You don't
but
have- oh,
if
okay,
you
let
have
me-
a CD, I'll
Maybe I
get
can
that.
send one to Andrew and he can put it on your list.
Yes, if you
Okay,
can, yeah.
I'll do that now.
Send
Then.
it to me. He'll
That's
put it
great.
right up here.
Brilliant.
In the meantime, I'm going to go to a great musician called Natalie McMasters. I'm sure you've heard